Dive into the enigmatic world of the Gospel of Judas, a text that has sparked intrigue and debate for centuries. This mysterious gospel, unlike those found in the traditional Christian canon, presents a different perspective of Judas Iscariot, one that challenges the established portrayal of him as the infamous betrayer of Jesus Christ. Let's journey back to the 1970s, when an ancient Coptic manuscript was discovered in the deserts of Egypt. This document, known today as the Gospel of Judas, was found among a trove of other texts, shedding light on the diverse beliefs and practices of early Christian communities. The Gospel of Judas is believed to have been written by Gnostic Christians, a sect that flourished in the first few centuries after Christ's death. The Gnostics held distinct beliefs, often focusing on secret knowledge and spiritual enlightenment. Their writings, including the Gospel of Judas, were not included in the Christian canon due to their divergent theology. The authorship of this Gospel remains a subject of conjecture and debate among scholars. Some believe it was written by the followers of Judas, while others argue it was penned by Gnostic Christians, using Judas as a literary character to express their theological views. Despite these debates, the fact remains that this text provides a unique glimpse into the diverse and often contentious world of early Christianity. The Gospel of Judas was not widely accepted within early Christian communities. Unlike the canonical Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which were embraced for their apostolic authorship and theological consistency, the Gospel of Judas was marginalized. Its alternative portrayal of Judas and its Gnostic leanings did not align with the emerging orthodoxy of the time. As a result, it was excluded from the traditional Christian Bible, a part of the process by which the canon of Scripture was formed. As we unravel the story of this gospel, prepare to encounter a different perspective of Judas, one that challenges traditional beliefs. This exploration will not only shed light on the Gospel of Judas, but also on the fascinating, complex, and often contentious process by which the Christian canon was established. To understand the controversy, we must first recall the traditional portrayal of Judas as seen in the canonical Gospels. Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 apostles, is infamously known in the New Testament for his act of betrayal. His name alone has become synonymous with treachery and deceit. In the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Judas is depicted as the disciple who betrays Jesus to the religious authorities in exchange for 30 pieces of silver. This act of treachery sets in motion the events leading to Jesus' arrest, trial, and ultimately, his crucifixion. Judas's role is pivotal in the narrative of the Passion of Christ. His betrayal is foreseen by Jesus during the Last Supper, where Jesus identifies Judas as the one who will betray him. This prophetic announcement heightens the tension and adds a layer of inevitability to the unfolding events. In the Gospel of Matthew, Judas's remorse over his betrayal leads him to return the 30 pieces of silver and hang himself. But in the book of Acts, it is said that Judas uses the silver to buy a field and then dies by falling headlong, his body bursting open. These divergent accounts reflect the complex and often contradictory nature of Judas's character as it is presented in the canonical Gospels. Despite his pivotal role in the Passion narrative, Judas is more than just a two-dimensional villain. He is a tragic figure, a man who betrays his closest friend and teacher, and who, according to some interpretations, is predestined to play this role in a divine plan that he cannot escape. This familiar portrayal of Judas, however, takes a radical turn in the Gospel of Judas. In the Gospel of Judas, Judas Iscariot is not the villain, but a hero, a drastic shift indeed. Here, Judas, traditionally known as the betrayer, is celebrated as the most enlightened of all disciples, the one who understands the words of Jesus like no other. In this text, Judas is depicted as closer to Jesus than the other disciples, privy to special knowledge not shared with the rest. It is Judas to whom Jesus entrusts the secret of his divine mission. This unique relationship is reflected in a dialogue where Jesus confides in Judas, revealing the mysteries of the kingdom not accessible to the other disciples. Moreover, the Gospel of Judas presents a radical reinterpretation of the events leading to Jesus' arrest. Judas's infamous act of betrayal is portrayed not as an act of treachery, but as the fulfillment of a divine plan. It is suggested that Jesus himself requested Judas to hand him over to the authorities. Judas is thus painted not as a traitor, but as a trusted confidant executing a divine command. This shift in perspective is profound. The Gospel of Judas paints a picture of a disciple who is not a villain, but a misunderstood hero who played a crucial role in the realization of Jesus' divine mission. This Judas is not driven by greed or evil intent, but by a deep understanding of his role in the divine plan and an unwavering commitment to his teacher's cause. However, this interpretation of Judas is not just a simple reversal of his traditional image. It challenges the very foundations of Christian beliefs, offering a different perspective on the nature of good and evil, the meaning of betrayal, and the concept of divine will. Such a view of Judas, as you can imagine, has sparked much controversy and debate. This reinterpretation invites us to question our understanding of the biblical narrative and consider the possibility of alternative interpretations. It pushes us to delve deeper into the complex and fascinating character that is Judas Iscariot. Now that we have seen the two faces of Judas, let's delve into the contrasts and comparisons. In the canonical Gospels, Judas is traditionally portrayed as the betrayer, the one who sells Jesus out for 30 pieces of silver. His actions lead to Jesus' arrest and subsequent crucifixion. He is seen as the embodiment of treachery and deceit, an image that has been deeply ingrained in Christian tradition. However, the Gospel of Judas presents a vastly different perspective. Instead of the villain, Judas is portrayed as the chosen one, the disciple to whom Jesus imparts special knowledge. He is depicted as being closer to Jesus than the other disciples, privy to secrets and understanding Jesus' true message. His role in Jesus' arrest is not seen as betrayal, but rather as a collaboration in a divine plan, a necessary step towards salvation. The divergence between these two portrayals is stark. The Gospel of Judas challenges the traditional narrative, proposing an alternate interpretation of Judas's actions and intentions. Instead of the traitor, Judas becomes the misunderstood hero, the one who carries out Jesus' wishes even at the cost of his own reputation. What does this mean for our understanding of Judas? It certainly complicates things. The alternate portrayal of Judas forces us to question established beliefs and rethink the binary of hero and villain. It invites us to consider the possibility of redemption and the complexities of divine plans. The implications of this alternate interpretation extend beyond simply re-evaluating Judas's character. It provokes deeper questions about the nature of good and evil, the role of free will in carrying out divine plans, and the potential for reinterpretation within religious narratives. The alternate portrayal of Judas indeed challenges established beliefs and invites us to explore further. The Gospel of Judas does not merely present an alternate view of Judas, it also poses significant theological implications. This radical reinterpretation of Judas Iscariot's role in the life and death of Jesus Christ has sparked a maelstrom of controversy and debate among biblical scholars and theologians. The Gospel of Judas challenges the very bedrock of established Christian beliefs, providing a narrative that turns the traditional portrayal of Judas on its head. Instead of the infamous traitor, Judas emerges as a crucial collaborator in a divine plan, a bearer of special knowledge, and arguably the most faithful disciple of Jesus. This has profound implications for how we understand the crucifixion and the very nature of betrayal. If Judas was acting under the divine guidance of Jesus, was his act of betrayal truly a sin? Or was it a necessary part of a larger divine plan? Such questions have the potential to unsettle established narratives and beliefs, and as such they are met with a range of reactions, from outright rejection to thoughtful reconsideration. Debates among scholars are as diverse as they are passionate. Some view the Gospel of Judas as a heretical text, reflecting Gnostic beliefs that were deemed unorthodox and excluded from the canonical Gospels. Others see it as an invaluable piece of early Christian literature, offering insights into the diversity of beliefs and interpretations in early Christian communities. Interpretations of Judas's role are equally varied. Some scholars see Judas as a misunderstood figure, a scapegoat burdened with the sins of humanity. Others argue that the Gospel of Judas does not exonerate him, but presents a more nuanced understanding of his character and motivations. These debates are more than academic exercises. They touch upon fundamental questions about the nature of faith, the interpretation of religious texts, and the ways in which history is remembered and retold. The Gospel of Judas, thus, continues to be a source of vibrant scholarly discussion and interpretation. To fully appreciate the Gospel of Judas, we must consider its historical and cultural context. The Gospel of Judas, like many other non-canonical texts, is deeply rooted in Gnosticism, a religious and philosophical movement that flourished in the early Christian era. Gnostics held a distinctive view of the world, seeing it as a battleground between forces of light and darkness, knowledge and ignorance. They believed that salvation was achieved not through faith alone, but through a special kind of knowledge, often revealed in secret teachings. The Gospel of Judas reflects these beliefs, presenting Judas not as a traitor, but as the privileged recipient of Jesus' secret teachings. The historical context of the Gospel of Judas is equally important. Written in the 2nd century AD, it was a time of great diversity and debate within Christianity. Many different interpretations of Jesus' life and teachings were circulating, and the Gospel of Judas is a testament to that diversity. In relation to other Gnostic writings, the Gospel of Judas is not an outlier. It shares common themes with texts like the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Mary, emphasizing secret knowledge and challenging traditional interpretations of the divine. Yet, it stands unique in its reimagining of Judas, a figure vilified in the canonical Gospels. But why is this important? Why should we care about a text that challenges our traditional understanding of a biblical figure? Well, the Gospel of Judas, like all historical documents, is a window into the past. It gives us a glimpse of the rich diversity of early Christian thought and challenges us to think critically about how that thought has evolved over time. It also reminds us that our understanding of religious texts is shaped by their historical and cultural contexts. The Gospel of Judas was a product of its time, influenced by the beliefs and debates of early Christian communities. To understand it, we must understand those communities and the world they lived in. As we conclude, remember that the Gospel of Judas invites us to question, to explore, and to seek understanding, much like the journey of faith itself.